This is a picture of the British Army bases in Ireland pre-famine, and this is a picture of the IPAS, or International Protection Accommodation Service centres. Over 330 of them. The network of army bases had a deliberate strategic layout to counteract the Irish guerrilla warfare network. Troops were scattered into hundreds of small towns and villages. See, after the 1798 rebellion, there was a fear of a mass uprising, so this network allowed troops to react to local riots quickly and have their ear to the ground for any secret uprising to make sure any resistance could never gather momentum. The locations were also strategic to control the transportation corridors. Before the 1690s, soldiers were housed in public taverns and private homes. That didn't go down too well with locals. After the Williamite War and the Bill of Rights, English Parliament wouldn't host a large standing army anymore because it was seen as a threat to civil liberties in peaceful times. So Irish Parliament agreed to house and pay for 15,000 troops, building barracks. There was no police force, so the British Army acted as law enforcement, helping with tax collection, protecting landlords during evictions, and protecting resources, like food exports. The infrastructure of this military occupation strategy was central to what's known as the famine. There was no famine, there was a potato blight, but there was plenty of food. It was protected and exported. Essentially then, same roads, same towns, same strategic geography. Now, to be clear, in the 1800s, the barracks arrived before the famine. Today, it's IPAS centres everywhere. So, let's say a civil unrest breaks out. Critical infrastructure, well, that would need protecting, right? So, emergency powers would be brought in. Sure, wouldn't foreign peacekeeping forces be needed if policing capacity collapsed? Most people don't notice the pattern because nobody looks at maps anymore. It's not going to be called an army, of course not. It'll be peacekeeping advisors, infrastructure protection units, European stabilisation personnel, or some other fancy title. So by pure coincidence, a system introduced under humanitarian language has also built the logistical skeleton of control. Control the infrastructure and you control the nation. What's worse, though, is that it was all invited in. It wasn't done through conquest or invasion. It was done under the guise of compassion. Every stage arrived wrapped in the false language of kindness, humanity, progress, tolerance, decency, and anyone who dared to question the speed, the scale, or the long-term consequences was immediately condemned as hateful, backward, or labelled as a racist. Ireland has lowered every instinct it once had for self-preservation. The centres were introduced as emergency accommodation, temporary shelters for vulnerable people, so most ordinary Irish people accepted that because they still held the memory of hunger, eviction, emigration and suffering. And that memory was used against us. It will haunt us that we opened the doors so willingly. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. History doesn't repeat, but it often rhymes. And you can't blame the British for this one. It's not too late to wake up, but it's damn close.